My father-in-law and my mother-in-law specifically were making fun of me because I wanted a budget wedding. I don't care if they're rich, their side of their family is filthy rich and loaded. I grew up very poor, so I don't need a luxury wedding. But they're forcing me. Yeah, really. They sent me a $200,000 check and told me to go all out. So imagine on my wedding day when they show up and I did not go all out. I barely spent $20,000 and I donated the rest of it to charity. You should see how they reacted. Let me show you. I might have just done something that'll either jeopardize my relationship or strengthen it. I swear I did this with pure intention in my heart. I could not carry on to the next step of our relationship knowing that my fiancé was hiding his family from me. All of the things that I thought might be the reason he did this to me did not add up. So now I'm curious about why he really doesn't want them around me because I've met his sister. She's accepted me the way that I am, and I think that he just needs to come around and forgive them for whatever it is that happened. Coming from a big family, I know that arguments can lead to family members not speaking to each other. Others for months. I'm sure there's something small that can be solved, so I'm going to need your help in convincing them. I know you're wondering how you can even help me when you have such few details. Well, worry not, my friends, because I'm about to tell you my love story. As a disclaimer, all names in the post are changed for my privacy. You can call me Mika. I'm a 22-year-old and currently studying psychology. When I'm not studying, I help out at a foundation for children with different health conditions. I enjoy my work there. It's very fulfilling. A year ago, I met Jordan at the charity event and was curious about his presence. After my 20-minute information session, he approaches me. He apologized for loitering for about 2 of my information sessions because he was so attracted to me. I was just average looking, thus I was surprised by his interest. I asked if he was confusing me with Abigail, a similar-looking girl, and pointed at her. He assured me that I was the one who caught his eye. I told him I was not interested in dating. He then tells me that even then he was interested in volunteering at our institution on the weekend. Abigail and I were sure that he was just going to come for one day and get my number, but we were oh so wrong. He came weekend after weekend after weekend and was very dedicated of a volunteer. I became friends with him, but he eventually asked me out on a date without asking for my number. I realized that he forgot to ask me for the number, so I tracked his number down and messaged him. The date, oh boy, it went well, and we've been together ever since. Jordan and I get along a lot, and we have a lot of similar values. You see, we knew early on that we were dating to get married. Things just flowed easily for us, and he ended up moving closer to me and was at my house most of the time. He met my family and they loved him. We had our fights, but they just made us stronger. Even though it's been a year, it feels like I've known him for much, much longer. Because of that, it did not feel strange when he proposed to me. The only natural thing to do at this point was to say yes. My family was happy for me, but surprised. They said that they thought I would want to advance further in my career before I got married. I told them that it felt right when I met my partner, and it's hard to explain our relationship and why it works to other people, though. Anyways, everything's fine in our relationship except for something. That something is the fact that he does not want me to meet his family. The few times that I've asked about them, he told me that I would not get along with them. He tells me that he wants to keep me away from them for my own safety. I asked if they were that dangerous, and he says, oh no. He just gave me a lot of vague and funny answers, man. When I told my bestie, Abigail, about it, she said maybe it's because his family was not that well off. Maybe that's the case. After all, he doesn't like to talk much about the childhood. Guys, he also prefers to live a very frugal life like me. I always assumed that he was like me, somebody who came from an established family but chose their own path. Abigail, on the other hand, feels that they're broke, and he's afraid to introduce them to me. I asked once again right after he proposed, but he did not give me the answers that I needed. The more I thought about it, the more I became concerned. If I was going to become his life partner, then I needed to know everything about him. I couldn't deal with unknowns, and I know this could drive me crazy. What if they showed up one day and did not even know who I was? If I'm able to be his wife, then I'm not gonna hide. Even though he claims he's protecting me, I feel as if he's hiding me. This leads me to doubt whether I should have said yes to this engagement. Maybe I just rushed because of how much I loved him without even thinking. This is why I did not dare to date for a long time. Love tends to make one illogical, and I'm not that kind of person. I'm a person who must know everything there is to know about the person I'm with. I don't like the fact that he shuts me down every time I bring this up. This only raises my suspicions. Countless scenarios have gone through my head about what he's hiding from me. See, what if he already has a wife that his family knows? Maybe I'm just a girl who he's stringing along because of whom my family is. I can't help but have these thoughts, because he's given me a reason to be suspicious. If I do not know anything about him, then how do I trust him? Who do I go to if something happens to him? Those things are important if his family and I are to become one, but he doesn't seem to understand it. The amount of times I've considered giving back the ring is countless. Each time I have convinced myself to stay, I've tried to tell myself that there's a logical explanation for this and that. Jordan does everything for a reason. His main goal since we started dating was to protect me. Even with that, the whole thing just troubled me. It has troubled me to the point where I've decided to get the answers for myself. Yeah, you read it right. I went and looked for Jordan's family. I'm not sure how he's going to react when he finds out that I went behind his back to look for him. I used my sleuthing skills to find his sister. I talked to her and told her who I was and asked to meet. See, when I met her, she was shocked that he was in a relationship at all. She said that the family didn't know me, and I asked her what happened between him and the family. She told me that he did not like the way that his family lived. So I asked her to please explain. She said that they lived too extravagantly for his liking, so Abigail was wrong and they're well off, and he doesn't like that. See, I don't get why he's like that about it. My family has different lifestyles to mine, but I still love them. I'm still updating them on my life and introduce him to them. It just feels a bit unfair that he would do this to me. She claims that the only reason, but I'm not convinced. I feel there's something more to this relationship with his family. As I dig deeper into his secret, I'm just scared. I'm scared at what I'm going to find out about him. These fears might lead to us breaking up, and I also feel bad because I'm betraying him in a way. He told me to leave this buried, but I did not. I'm not sure if I'm ready to lose him, but I know if I am to marry him, I must know the truth. The answer lies with his family, I know it. I've always felt that there was a part of him that I could never truly connect with, and I suspect this is the reason. I have to uncover this for my own sanity. After all, marriage is a very serious thing. It is trying yourself to someone legally. That's not easy to get out of. Anyways, I'm going to be meeting his parents in just a few days. Please wish me luck when I meet my in-laws for the first time, because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. His sister seems nice, but maybe he's right, and his family would not like me. After all, I'm very simple of a girl. But before I meet his parents, I just wanted an outsider's opinion on things. Do you guys think that I'm doing the right thing? Going to meet his parents behind his back, or do you think that I should have talked to him about it? I really need some validation here, please. Help me out, guys. Tell me what you should do. Update number 1. A month has gone by since my first post. Finally, I met my in-laws, and obviously there were consequences to what I did, but I don't regret it. I stand a happier woman today because of this, and even Jordan's starting to come around to the idea of it, though he was very mad for a bit. Firstly, I had dinner with my in-laws, and they live 2 hours away by driving. I told Jordan I had a school thing, and then I went. I was welcomed very warmly by the parents. They said that my sister-in-law spoke very highly of me, and then they asked me many questions about myself, which I answered every single one of them to my complete ability at being honest. They even said that they were very impressed with their son's taste. They called me beautiful, smart, and one of a kind. Getting that validation from them was the best feeling ever. I felt so much closer to him being in his childhood home. I got to see all of his old pictures and even his old room. Seeing all of this made me fall even more in love with the person that he was. We had a good day together with the family, and they asked me to sleep there only. So I insisted on getting a motel, but they would not have it. They said that they would not have their daughter-in-law put up in a motel while there was more than enough room at the house. So I spent the night and I left at noon the next day. Before I left, I asked him if they had any idea why he had hidden me. They said that they were not sure, but he had stopped speaking to the family some years ago, and his mom said that he was a beautiful, smart boy, but he wanted to create his own path. She felt as if he sometimes resented them for being wealthy. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. My in-laws are crazy rich, but they're so down to earth. I never felt like I was looked down upon when I was with them at all, even for a single moment. I was on a high when I left. I was so excited to tell them what happened. Well, guess who was not very happy when he found out what I did? He lost it and told me that I had just created more problems for us. He tells me that his parents would not accept me and now they would try to separate us. I then told him to calm down because they love me. I then sent him pictures of me and his family, and he tells me that they might smile to my face, but trust me, they hate me. I found this hard to believe and told him to give them a chance. We ended up fighting about this for days, and he felt as if I broke his trust by going behind his back to see them. I did feel horrible, but I also felt that his fear was misplaced. We were at it for days, and it looked like we were never going to get this resolved. Well, he did not speak to me for an entire weekend, but then on Monday he tells me that he wants to talk. When we saw each other, he told me that he loved me and really wanted me to be his wife. He said that he was not going to lose me over something this stupid. He then asked when our families could meet so that they could get to know one another very, very well. Well, I was completely over the moon. I told him I loved him even more for being this selfless. I told him so, but he told me that there was just a single condition. He reminded me that he wanted a simple wedding. The thought of an over-the-top wedding made my tummy sore. I did not want anything that was too much, and my family knew it. I wanted something classy and intimate, and we could use all of the wedding money to invest in our future. I didn't believe in splurging all for one day. I respected others who did, but I did not want it for myself. So anyways, our families met and seemed to get along well. We're going to start the wedding prep in a few months, and let's just hope that it all goes well. I'll update you guys in just a bit. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's me again. It's been 2 months since my last update. Wedding planning starting a week ago, and it's not going the way that I wanted. I think that I'm starting to regret involving my in-laws in it, and my plan was to plan everything on my own with little input from my family. I knew that they were going to try to turn this into something more than I wanted. I decided to start planning a week ago because school is less hectic now. I knew everything I wanted within 2 days and was ready to start looking for people to fulfill my wishes. I spoke to my future sister-in-law and asked her to recommend a designer for me within a certain price range. Biggest mistake ever. She asked why I wanted such a cheap dress, and I told her that I did not want to spend too much money. After the call, she went and told her mom. Tell me why this woman was just waiting for me after class, and she said that she heard some upsetting news. Well, I asked her what she meant by that, and she just said that she was so disappointed. She said that her only son was getting married, but it was going to be a simple wedding. She asked why I did not ask for money for the wedding, and I told her that it didn't feel right asking for it, and we had it sorted. She said that she could not let me plan my dream wedding on a budget. I tried to insist that I did not need her money, but it was impossible. She became very sad and said that she just wanted her son to have a beautiful wedding. In the end, I cracked and allowed her to give me more of an expensive dress. I thought it was going to end there, but it was not. She proceeded to take over all aspects of my wedding against my wishes. I told her no several times, but she did not listen. She felt that she knew better since she was older, and I did not want to alienate my new mother-in-law, so I bit my tongue. I wish I had fought harder. For the past hour, she and I have been collaborating on a document that has all the details about my wedding. She keeps on suggesting crazy changes that I don't need at all. I admit that it can be a bit exhausting doing this. I just keep reminding her that I want a small, intimate wedding. She tells me that she hears me, that she wants to book an entire floor at a hotel just for the wedding. It's been exhausting to deal with. I know that I could complain to Jordan so that he can tell her to back off, but I don't want to strain their relationship. So far, I've been holding my own, and I will continue to do so. It's just so difficult. It's like we're having a battle of wills. I'm starting to change my opinion on her. She seemed so nice in the few times that I met her, but maybe it was because I was so agreeable to her. Now that I'm trying to have a say in my wedding, her bossy side is coming out, and I don't appreciate the way she disregards my suggestions. She makes comments about how my style does not reflect our family. I feel my hair getting thinner every single day as I deal with this woman. She doesn't want to hear any opinion other than her own. I feel like I can explode and tell her everything that's on my mind, and I'm starting to think that this was the reason Jordan wanted nothing to do with his family. Maybe they controlled and micromanaged his life like this. It's making sense to me every day that they tend to be very surface level. I'm going to have to find the courage to tell them to back off. I feel bad because I'm the one who involved them in the first place, and I should have just left things the way that they were. I'll update you guys in just a little bit. Update number 3. Hey guys, it's me. I'm here for an update. So it's been 2 weeks since the last one, and I'm tired. That's it. I've had it. I can forgive a lot, but not such an indifference towards the other people suffering. Just a little bit of empathy and respect will go a long way. Why did they not understand that? The respect that I was starting to get from my in-laws had just evaporated in a minute. Now, I wish that I had listened to my fiancé and never contacted them. He's well within his rights to tell me that he told me so. His family's something else. I cannot believe that I've been ignoring the red flags like this. So guys, let me go ahead and tell you every single thing that happened. This weekend, I was at my in-laws' estate and we were having dinner. After dinner, we sat around and chit-chatted. After a while, some people went to bed and my husband had to go and send an email. So I was left with my father-in-law. We got to talking about careers, and he tells me how he managed to get the family to where they were. He then asked me about my plans for the future and what I was passionate about. I told him that I help children with disabilities at the foundation. He then asked me why I was wasting my talent doing that, and I told him that I didn't feel that I was wasting talent. I was gaining valuable experience. He tells me that he could get me a job that paid way more with benefits, and then proceeded to try to sell me those benefits. Honestly, I just zoned out at this point and kept on nodding because he could not take the hint that I, wasn't interested. I then asked him, but said that I would stick to my job. He said it was my loss and it was a pity I was spending my time with invalids. To tell you that I was shocked to my core would be an absolute understatement. I'm so proud of myself for asking him what he meant without faltering. He then went on a rant about how disabled children were there because of selfish parents, and now his taxes had to go to that. He then asked how my being there was making those kids feel any better. I was about to answer when my fiancé showed up. He started talking about something else, and I told him that I needed to go to bed. When I was about to fall asleep, Jordan tells me that Dad had offered him a check for $250,000 for the wedding, but he was not sure if he should take it. He said it was ridiculous and we did not need it, but in my head I was fuming. I was thinking about what his dad said and the degrading way he spoke about other human beings, and what kind of family was I getting married into? Final update. Hey guys, it's me again. So, it's been 2 months since I've last updated you, and I do want to thank you for the helpful comments. They helped me a lot, and I was not sure if I wanted to tell my fiancé about what his dad said or not, and after thinking about it, I had to tell him everything. I got him alone and told him. He was upset and wanted to cut off contact with them immediately, but I stopped him. I had a plan. I told him to call his father and accept the check for the wedding, and his dad did so, and we put our plan into motion. I went ahead and canceled all of my mother-in-law's plans behind my back. I then got the dress, the venue, the decor that I wanted. She had no idea until she entered the wedding that all this happened. In total, we spent $20,000 on the wedding. The only thing that we did not skimp out on was food. Everything else was just regular, and we were happy about it. I felt beautiful in the wedding gown of my choice, and as I walked down the aisle, I saw the horrified looks of my in-laws, but they didn't bother me. Everyone else looked happy to see me, and a look of awe in their eyes. I saw that my mother-in-law looked like she wanted to breathe fire, and I was a bit scared, but we carried on with the wedding. Well, we got married, and then there was time for our wedding speeches. The whole time I was surrounded by people, so none of my in-laws could get to me. I could see by the looks on their faces that they were not happy and had questions about what I did with the money. I answered those questions in my wedding speech. Yeah. After thanking everybody for being there, I said that I wanted to thank my father-in-law for being the best gift ever. I then announced that he had donated $230,000 to the foundation I worked with. The look on his face when I said that was oh so priceless. I almost started laughing on stage, but I composed myself as he sat there, glaring at me for the rest of the speech. When I finished the speech, my mother-in-law came and took me away. I saw that my fiancé had also been cornered by his dad. As soon as she got us into a room, she asked me what the hell was wrong with me. She told me that I've ruined everything and proven that I was not good enough for their son. She said that the fact that I came from a respectable home did nothing to me, and that I had just embarrassed them. She told me to enjoy my 2 minutes of marriage because she was not going to accept this marriage, and then she left me alone. I was shaken, but I went back outside. When I went back outside, my father-in-law was storming out of the wedding, and everybody was looking at him and my mother-in-law leaving. And I mean everyone. Yeah, after a while, everyone forgot what happened and we just carried on. My husband told me later on that his dad gave him an ultimatum and obviously he picked me. He's decided to go out and have contact with his family once again. Well, I apologized to him for not heeding his warning and I should have listened to him when he told me that they were no good. At least now I know the truth and they're finally out of our lives.